Hey, what is up guys, it's Rocker Girl here. In today's video we're going to be playing Paladins. I'm going to already say that this is not a live commentary, this is pre-recorded footage. If you guys have been familiar with my channel and been around for a little bit, then you know that I've decided that I wanted to do a series where with every new release of a champion in Paladins, I will do a first game, first impressions type of thing for each character. I already did one with Ash. If you guys haven't seen that yet, I'm going to leave a link in the description. Well, actually, better yet, I'll put the link at the end of this video so you guys can go see that. And I plan on doing one as the day that I'm recording this. It's the 18th, and tomorrow for Xbox One, the new update is supposed to be releasing that has Lian. I think I'm saying that right. I hope I am. If not, I'll go back and check it later and make sure when I do hers I am saying it right. But today's is going to be Zhin's, and I know a lot of you guys probably looking and saying, well, Zhin's been out for a good 2 weeks now, what took so long? But there's a perfectly good explanation for that. Basically, I didn't really have the points to buy the guy quite yet, so I had to grind to get him, and then when I did finally get him, I didn't have too much time to myself to actually sit down and do a first impressions thing. So here we are. So first starting out, I want to say that like I said, I have not played with the guy before. This is all the gameplay that you're seeing is my very first game with him. I don't do any practice or firing range type of things with the characters. I want it to be my pure first impressions as far as how he works in the game and how he works in an actual game with other players. So I played against him quite a few times now, and he's been a pretty formidable champion to play against. He's kind of intimidating, actually. It seems like he's most weak at like long range, maybe, but if you get him up real close on you, then it's over. Like there's not too much you can do about it. So let's start off looking at some of his skills. He has the Inferno Blade, which is his right trigger or main attack or whatever. Then you have well, I will describe what it is. His Inferno Blade is a direct damage attack, and he basically hurls burning oil from his sword at enemies, and it deals 450 damage with the regular swing and 700 damage with the heavy swing. Then you have the counter, which basically is if an enemy is attacking you, he will hold up his sword to deflect the attack and counter them with an attack that takes about 700 damage. You have Billow, which is when he turns into smoke and becomes like basically invincible for a little bit of time while he gains movement speed to move away from fights. Then you have Whirl, which is basically he lunges forward, swinging his blade around, and does about 400 damage if you can hit. And then for his ultimate, he has Spite, in which is he launches forward at an enemy, basically stuns them, and just starts wailing on them for damage of about 2,000 points. So overall, his abilities are looking pretty cool. The amount of damage he takes a good amount of damage if you know how to use him and you know what you're doing with him. So I made sure I learned all of his attacks and stuff like that, and what each attack is supposed to do or whatever. And I went in for my first playthrough with him. Now, one thing I would say that was a thing that was my fault was that I assumed that some of his abilities, like his attacks and stuff, will be able to hit at long range, but he's more of a mid-range, from what I can tell from the first game, he's more of a mid-range to close range type of player, which it makes sense because he is a flank and stuff like that, but I don't know, I just assumed that the attack, especially with the Inferno Blade, would reach a lot farther than what it did. If you see during the gameplay, I'm trying to hit people who are like meters away and it's doing absolutely nothing, and I keep checking his abilities trying to figure out what I'm doing wrong, but I figured out about halfway in that I'm supposed to be at least mid-range for his attacks to really do much damage or even be able to hit in the first place. After a while, I started to notice that the fire from his Infernal Blade would dissipate after a few seconds of travel. So, from my first experience, he's a really... Once I really started to understand how his attacks worked, especially the ranges that I had for his attacks, he's a really hard to beat character. Like, even in this gameplay with him, I managed to pull off 20 eliminations, 10 being solo kills and 10 being assists. I don't even think I pull off that many fucking eliminations with any of the other characters, like Victor or anything that I'm good at as a base character. But with him, it was pretty easy. His moveset is kind of reminiscent of a mixture between Genji and Reaper, from what I can tell. I don't play either of those characters in Overwatch, but the Fleck thing is kind of reminiscent of Genji, and then his Billow, where he gets to move out in like a thing of smoke, is kind of like Reaper's little ability thing. So I can tell that he's more of a character that's best played as getting in close, which, like I said, he is a flank, so he's very good at coming up behind people. And he's a character best played at close range and getting in the heat of battle and taking people out, as well as his Billow attack allows his Billow ability allows for him to be able to get in, do some damage, and quickly move out of the fight before being taken out to give yourself some chance to breathe and regenerate and go right back in and start kicking ass again. The guy is really, I don't want to say he's overpowered necessarily, but he does quite a bit of damage with each of his attacks, and if you could use a mixture of all of them, then you can pretty much become unstoppable. Now, on the topic of his ultimate, I got to use his ultimate once, and I've had people who played Shin use their ultimate on me several times, and his ultimate seems to be that's it. It's a good thing that his ultimate, he can only hit one player at a time, from what I can tell, because I have yet to see anyone like ult into a group of players and hit several players. It's only, from what I can tell so far, he only is able to attack one player at a time with his ultimate. So it's a good thing that it is that way, because if not, the guy would basically be like a one-man apocalypse against the team. Any team that you go up against that has this guy on it, then you pretty much can accept a loss, because it seems that, from what I can tell and from what I have is experience from having it used against myself, his ultimate basically is a, once you're caught, that's it, you're dead. The character that gets caught up in it is gone. He's off the map, out of play, sent back to spawn immediately. I have yet to see anyone use their ultimate on any player in the game as Shin. Like, I've yet to see anyone use Shin's ultimate on anyone and they survive it, basically, is what I'm saying. I've had characters where, there's been times where I used Ashe against a Shin and had full health, hadn't been hit at all, and he ulted and hit me, and that was it. I was dead. And then it's like, because it's a stun to start it off, there's nothing you can do. Once it starts, you can't really counter it, you can't really come out of it and try to attack. That's just it. So overall, I think the character is pretty much, he's a very good addition to the game. He's not necessarily powerful in the way that there aren't ways at all to get around him, because like I say, from what I can tell, the best way to approach and attacking a Shin is to keep your distance. If you let him get close to you, odds are you're gonna not make it. If you keep your distance, you have a bit more of a chance than if you let him get really close to you. If they were to do any updates where he had any buffs to his distancing, then he would pretty much be an unstoppable character in my eyes. And that's just from my first playthrough playing Siege, I believe it was. He could, if it's a good thing that they I will say it's a good thing that they decided to add him to the roster after they swapped out the survival mode for Onslaught, because if they kept him for the survival mode era, pretty much unless you have if you get a really good Shin player, even if you have both teams have a Shin, if you get a really good Shin player versus a beginner Shin player like myself, you can guarantee that the other team is always going to win, because the guy is just, especially at close range, like, he's just really powerful. There's not much else to be said about it. I'm really excited for Lian to come out tomorrow. I will probably try to record her video. Hopefully I'll have enough coins to unlock her. If not, I'll be working my ass off for the rest of the week to get the coins up to unlock her. I'm really excited to see what type of ability she's going to have and how she's going to play into the team composition of the game, which Paladins isn't really, in my experience, a game that relies too heavily on team composition as far as like winning games and stuff goes. But I'm really interested in seeing what role she could play, what would be her best strengths and weaknesses as far as the overall thing to the team. So anyways, that was my first thoughts on Shin. I probably will be playing him a hell of a lot more, because he's actually a really fun character to play. Especially, like I said, once I got past the fact that I mistakenly thought that he was supposed to have long range attacks. But once I got past that, he's a really fun character to play. I will definitely be playing him. So far, I'm really enjoying the new additions to the game, the new champions that they're coming out with, because all of them have something really unique to themselves that brings a lot to the game, as well as being fun in their own right of playing. Like I said, Ashe was a pleasant surprise because she was a frontline character that I actually had fun playing with. Shin is a very pleasant surprise because he's a flank character that's pretty powerful, but from what I can tell, he can play more than just flank. He can be a really good DPS player as well. But yeah, we'll see tomorrow when Lian comes out, if like how she fits into anything. Hopefully I have enough coins. If I don't, I will be probably working hard tonight and the rest of the week to get them, like I said, just so I'll be able to get her. I will try my best next time to have the update, the first thoughts, first game video on her up more close to her release, as opposed to like 2 or 3 weeks later or the day before the release of the next champion. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you want to play a couple games of Paladins with me, don't feel like a stranger. Add me on Xbox, send me a message saying that you want to play, or we'll see if we can do anything. If you guys enjoyed this video and you haven't seen the Ashe video, you can go ahead and check that video out in the description or at the outro card. You can also make sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next one, and be sure to look out for new videos every day. I don't just make Paladins videos, I also do a wide variety of different gaming videos. By the time this one goes up, I'm pretty sure the first hour or so of me playing Phantom Dust will be up and available to watch. So if you're a fan of that game, or if you heard of that game, or if you're like me and you're curious to know what the game's about, go ahead and check that out. I also play Resident Evil. I'll probably be putting up the next playthrough for Resident Evil come Saturday or tomorrow, as in comparison of when this video will be uploaded, because this video will be coming up on Friday. And yeah, till next time, keep on rocking, guys.